Hey everybody, it's Mike.
And Katie.
And it's episode 86. What are we talking about?
Today is Lord of the Rings.
The one episode to rule them all. This week on Cup of Rad. Okay, so hope you're all well. Hope you all had good weekends. Some people in the world had long weekends.
Yeah?
Well, I guess a lot of people had long weekends in general.
No.
But we had Canada Day and we had 4th of July. So lots of beer and pastries and all that were had.
Yeah, we had a little too much sugar. A little too much of a sugar overload.
Yep.
I found a cookie is a completely acceptable lunch. I don't know what.
I don't know if it is acceptable.
It is acceptable when it's that decadent. It was like this epic s'mores cookie. The thing was as big as my hand. Like without my fingers, I guess, yeah. We have to be specific.
Without my fingers.
And it had a marshmallow and a chocolate piece on it. It had marshmallows in it. It was fabulous. It's a local company called Dough & Co. They make like stuffed cookies.
Stuffed cookies, yeah.
Kiddos had an Oreo and it had an Oreo baked inside of the cookie. It was pretty epic.
Yeah. We had some Say Hello Sweets ice cream.
We had Flower Girl cinnamon buns. It was good stuff. Maybe we should stop talking about it.
Yeah, right?
What are we drinking?
Tonight we are enjoying another Old Yale. This is a seasonal limited release beer. Raspberry lemon. Berlin Weiss? Weiser? Weisenflufen? It's only a 4% alcohol, but it is refreshing and crisp.
It's got a nice sweet but like tart flavor to it.
Raspberry lemonade beer.
Yeah.
So
you can't go wrong with it. So it's one of their seasonal packs. They come with a black currant sour, I think it is too.
Ginger sour.
Yeah. So
reason why we're drinking is because, well, you know, they come in pints. And because we're talking about the Lord of the Rings.
I didn't know they came in pints.
And the beauty of that is that we decided to sit down on Canada Day and watch The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Mm-hmm. And this was going to be our feature for the entire month of July. Well, for 3 episodes.
Well, because I was really excited to be able to share this with Kiddo.
Yeah.
He was old enough, he was interested. And
he kept asking about it. Mm-hmm. And so we watched The Fellowship of the Ring. And
then he looked at us like, how dare you stop the movie?
So we watched the next one. And then we watched the next one. So this entire episode is going to be about Lord of the Rings.
Because I can't believe we actually watched it in, 4 days?
Yeah. We only had one day where we had a break in between all the things. And it was the extended editions.
Yeah, it was a lot of movie.
So it's like, 12 hours a movie?
Yeah.
Over 3 days. So believe it or not, I actually feel a little burnt out on television.
Yeah. We didn't watch anything this morning or anything.
No, we didn't watch. We haven't watched anything else at all.
Just living and breathing Lord of the Rings right now.
Yeah. So Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring came out in 2001. Peter Jackson of Meet the Feebles fame. Brain Dead or Dead Alive, depending on where in the world you were. Which I found on YouTube and we're going to watch again because I can't find my DVD copy. I can't wait to rewatch that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then Bad Taste. Or there's also The Frighteners and The Lovely Bones. Frighteners is really good. And
literally The
King
Frighteners.
Kong.
And is the only one that I had ever actually kind of heard of before I met you. And I'm like, okay, this is a legitimate movie. What the hell else are you trying to show me?
The beauty is this guy went from schlocky tourism. Like he made his movies with like the New Zealand Tourism Board. Those schlocky horror movies that he did because it showcased the landscape around, right?
Okay.
So
is he from down there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a New Zealander.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you call them.
From
New
Zealand.
Zealander. Theo was a Kiwi.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if we can say that.
If we can say that.
Yeah. But yeah, the idea that
I'm sure he'll let you know now.
Yeah, hopefully. So he made these movies, and he had been shopping around because Lord of the Rings had been something like there was like the animated like Hobbit back in the day from like Rankin and Bass and all that, and you know, and even but they never really got to see the light of day because it's so big. It's such a huge fandom, for one, for people, and two, the books themselves are fairly large. And
there's a lot of characters,
right? And so he was shopping around, and he at one point was going to have it at Miramax, and Miramax apparently said, "We'll do it, but it's got to be one like 2-hour movie." So all three of them crammed into one, and we all know that that's like
sacrilegious.
The doom march for any adaptation when they decide to cram it all into one.
Most of the time, even just one regular novel is really not doing it justice to
at 2 hours.
2 hours, right? Think about even what's happened in Harry Potter, right? There's so much of it that was actually really missed. So.
Right. That's one of those series that they need to actually look at doing a series, and every book needs to be a season.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Right. But they...
Miramax.
Yeah, Miramax doesn't do that. And he ended up finding a home at New Line because someone he knew got him a meeting. And
okay.
So, and he also helped worked with Weta, basically put them on the map for their effects.
Okay,
and
that's
all
where
that.
they came from then, really.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
Well, you have these massive movies that you can showcase yourself for. And I was incredibly surprised how well they still held up for the way they looked.
Right.
And it was because of all those practical effects.
That is the one thing with watching the Fellowship. There's so many practical effects in that movie that it is just, it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Just seeing all those things. So the story, what's the story? What's the story?
There's a group of ragtag companions with this almighty ruling powerful ring, and they needed to get it to Mount Doom. Is that good enough? Or are there people out there going,
You literally boiled down 12 hours of film into 2 seconds.
Yeah. See, now you don't even have to watch it. That's all you need to know.
So Middle Earth, where they find out that there's all these rings got made, 9 men kings that are douche tools because they end up,
or as Kiddo would just say, humans. he's like that human king.
Yeah.
What? Who's the human king?
And then you get the dwarfs and the elves. We're all mystically magic. And
see, this is Mike Summers are so much better. There's flourishes about them.
Fancy words.
Douchebags and magical.
And so you've got Sauron, who's going around with his master ring.
I have a secret ring.
All right, and he's bashing people. And then Isildur's all like, "Take that, fool!" and cuts off his hand.
But then he's the douche tool that doesn't get rid of the ring.
And then, he's like, could have thrown in the fire. And Elrond's all like, "Throw it in the fire!" And he's all like, "Nah, bitch, I got this shit. And I'm going to rule this place because I got the one ring.
Because I actually know what I should be doing."
Right. Yeah. And he pieces out and gets arrowed in the back. Pew, pew. Dies. The ring disappears. And then you got the little Gollum dude shows up, or Smeagol. And
he was not Gollum dude.
He was Smeagol. He became Gollum dude.
Really quickly, apparently. Damn, that thing caught a hold of him quickly.
Twisted his mind, and he all went off. And then Bilbo Baggins was all like, "What up? Give me a ring, bitch. I'll stab you with my blade." And he takes the ring from him and ends up in the Shire after his adventure, which we'll probably watch this month later on. So watch out for that. Yeah,
Kiddo was already withdrawal mode from Lord of the Rings kingdom,
So then Bilbo's all like, "Damn, I'm old. I'm 111 years old." And Gandalf comes up. He's like, "Yo, you want to smoke some weed?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to smoke some weed, but I'm getting old and we're having this party."
By the way, this sounds like a Key and Peele episode. I know. Yo, you want to smoke some weed?
And they're all like, well, what was funny was I went ahead and like, yeah, man, these no wonder these hobbits eat so much. They're always smoking weed. Smoking. And you're like, wait, weed? I'm like, yeah, weed. Nah. And you're like, yeah, weed.
Totally makes sense then. Why they eat so much.
And that's why he can make a boat. That's why they're sitting there smoking their pipes and a boat comes out.
Yep.
Because they're smoking weed.
Yeah.
That's what we think they see. All they see is smoke, dude.
Yep. Kiddo's like, they're like, "Can you actually do that?" No, you cannot actually blow a boat out of smoke.
A wizard
But you can see the boat if you want to.
Bilbo and Gandalf are like the original Beavis and Butthead. They're like, boat. Yeah, boat. Right? So they're all like, I gotta leave. I gotta peace out here. Gandalf's all like, that's all weird. What's up, man? And he's like, no, I'm just getting old. I gotta see more shit. And I'm writing my book.
This is literally the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Right? This is like my commentary. Just put it on with the movie. And then like...
someone out there is like, yeah, I wish this would happen.
And then so he goes off, and maybe we should do that one day.
We should, I think.
We'll just
narrate the whole
narrate
thing.
the movie. Yeah. But so then like...
I think we should do that for a Disney movie, though.
Bilbo...
Because it's shorter, and then we could be our actual thoughts on the Disney movie now.
Right.
I think that needs to happen.
And then Bilbo's all like, yo, Frodo, you get this place because I don't trust in my relatives because they're shady as shit, right?
Because they've been trying to knife me in the back for years.
Yeah, apparently. So like, you're like, damn, dude.
Well, because you find out the ring let him live longer than he should have. So they're all waiting for him to death's door. Like, why are you still alive?
Right.
I want this house.
And then
like real good family.
But they're nice house.
Really like that.
Yeah, well, it's truth though.
Yeah,
right?
It's totally true.
But I'd live in a little hobbit house. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think we should live like hobbits.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the trees.
Second breakfast,
nice, cool,
11sies,
a air-conditioned underground house. Lots of food,
dinner,
weed,
supper,
drink.
Lots of ale.
Everything's good. Why can't we live like hobbits?
We can. I've been saying we need to go peace out and live in a hole. I mean...
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Okay.
But then, then Gandalf's all like, yo, we're gonna have this party, yo. I got fireworks.
Yes.
And
fireworks.
He lights up like a little kid where he's sitting there lighting fireworks off. And then we get to meet more characters. Merry and Pippin.
Mm-hmm.
And they steal some fireworks and they're all like, man, we're gonna...
The giant dragon.
Right? They're so dumb.
Yes.
Because they're so high.
Oh my God, so high.
They're like, hey, let's light this giant firework off in a tent.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And then when it lights, they're just like, whoa, I didn't think it was going to do this.
The thing's like the size of them.
So anyways, then Bilbo's all like, yo, fools, it's been great to see you. Pops the ring on and poof, he's gone. And you're like, whoa, what happened? Why Bilbo just... Did he spontaneously combust? We don't know. But we do know because he's got the ring on. He's all running and you get the Invisible Man. Shh.
You kind of sound like the guy. You sound like the guy from Ant-Man. Yep. This is like the somewhat abridged version of the movie.
I'm taking him through it. So then I'm trying to remember in case there's a scene that I was like...
Yeah, that's exactly what you sound like right now.
So he goes home and he's all like packing up and then Gandalf shows up. And this is a cool scene when Gandalf shows up. Because then Gandalf's all confused. He's like...
I like when he gets all angry.
Yeah, right?
He's just like...
It's like, Bilbo, give me your ring! Yeah, right?
I'm not fool!
Right? It was cool too because it gets all dark,
yeah,
right, and you're like, whoa! And
he looks kind of like he's growing.
He's growing, yeah, right. And then Bilbo's all like, no, it's mine, it's my precious, right? It's my ring, and it's my special ring. Show this one to the ladies.
Oh no, my goodness! I just need to imagine driving in a van right now. That's just perfect.
And then,
once you hear
Gandalf's like, no, leave that ring. And Bilbo was all, no, man, not doing it. So interesting fact is a lot of the movie was actually shot out of forced perspective. That's how they gained those the effects of how the hobbits were tiny when they were real people.
That's what we learned about the Warner Brothers lot.
Yeah.
I have a picture of I was a hobbit and you were a wizard.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
We should find that.
We were literally sitting at the same table and you were ginormous and I was super tiny.
And they weren't that far apart, which is crazy.
It was weird because the one table on your side of the table was higher up and it was bigger. And yeah, it wasn't that much of a gap between them.
Yeah.
And mine was lower to the ground idea, right? Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, we should totally find that. Should share that on Instagram.
That'd be good. But yeah, so then... But also too, they did all occasionally put them up on risers too, so they could interact more, right? So they did all those little tricks. So I think that's really cool.
Well, I think it's because I remember when I first saw this, I I just assumed it was like Wizard of Oz and everyone tiny was actually tiny. And then, like, when you think about it afterwards, you're like, no, they really are the proportions of a regular sized human.
Regular sized Rudy.
Tiny. Yeah, they are regular sized Rudy. And same with, like, Gandalf can't be an actual giant because he is also a man, which I knew who he was. And I thought the dwarves were all... I literally only learned about that now, that the dwarves were not actually smaller people, that they were regular size.
Because there's no other dwarves in the movie.
No.
You notice that? In any of the movies, it's just
Gimli, yeah. Which I always thought was weird.
Yeah, it's hitting me now how weird that is.
Like, it's really weird. They never even talk about it. I mean, there's
where they went.
Just the giant cave of dead dwarves.
But he didn't even know they were dead.
No, he didn't. And it was like, they were like really dead. They were not just freshly dead. They were dead for a long time. Huh. There was cobwebs everywhere. Like, that was a tomb.
Well, we ain't there yet.
No, we're not. We are not going to get... This is going to be 3 episodes if we're going to recount the movie like this. Mr. Burned Out on TV, we're going to recount every step of the movie? No.
We're walking to Mordo.
Oh, yeah, well, you've decided that it would be great if you had, like, like theme park walks to Mordor.
As we were watching Fellowship, I was like, you know how awesome it would be for someone, to just create a theme park based around Lord of the Rings? Mm-hmm. Just to be able to go to the Prancing Pony, which if you watch, you probably notice because it's been out for so long, but Peter Jackson has a quick cameo as they blast by that. Mm-hmm. But, go there, have a pint, It
would be like Hogwarts, Universal.
But like, then I was like, but what if you created an actual, like, instead of being really rides or anything, you just walked everywhere?
Okay, so Australia? In New Zealand. The Shire's there. Open at the Lord of the Rings theme park. Because you can actually go to those places in New Zealand. And yes, I am well aware they are different countries. Thank you very much.
I was just confused.
I forgot that it was not filmed in Australia.
But anyways... But yeah, that's what it needs to do. You need to have like an actual theme park, like a walkthrough. Like, here's your backpack filled with lamb bread.
Then you get to draw a card, and this is your character.
Yeah,
good luck.
Yeah, it's like pick your own adventure feel, or like
Well, especially when they end up splitting up and everything.
Yeah,
right? So
do the entire 3 movies in 12 hour. Here's your 12-hour day. Can you make it to the end?
There you go.
You're just walking. It's just a hike. It's just a hike.
Just a hike.
Just a hike.
Yeah.
But so then Frodo shows up and he's all like, "What up, Gandalf?" And then Gandalf's all like,
and then he just leaves.
So one thing that's kind of cool though is when Bilbo drops that ring. We're backtracking a little bit, but it was actually a magnetic plate underneath.
Oh, it was? That makes... Because, it's really cool. It just sticks.
Because they wanted to show the weight of it. It wanted to like, bam. It didn't,
that's
didn't want
cool
to roll away or anything like that.
When you show the ring in the movies, it has, it definitely has a weight. It sticks even to Frodo and all of that. It doesn't react like a normal ring. It definitely, it has a heaviness to it. So, which is cool. Yeah, I really like that one too, where it just clunks to the ground. Yeah,
so one thing that's different is that, so Gandalf pieces it off too. Mm-hmm. And he's like, here's this envelope. This is for you. I'll be back. And Frodo's like, whatever, fool. Files it.
Yeah.
And the movies are making it seem like it's only like a few weeks, but it is actually in the books it's 17 years.
Which is absolutely insane.
Right? So, which is a lot longer than you'd think, right? Like, it's like...
And then because I don't know if this is accurate then to the book. I would assume, because why else would they? But it's only 13 months for their whole quest to have happened.
Yeah, so
it's 17 years for him to gather all this stuff. So it shows then how long it actually. It does make more sense for how organized Sauron is with his army and all of that. Then for it to actually have been happening, because it was only supposed to really start. Well, I guess it was 60 years when Bilbo found the ring. And then that was the resurfacing, right?
Yeah.
More than anything. But then even just extra passing with Bilbo putting it on, that was supposed to kind of extra special power it feel. Yeah. So then 17 years would have made more of a point of him actually gathering his forces rather than a few weeks. Because that's a lot of things to move.
Yeah.
But who knows? But in the magical world of the movies, a few weeks happened.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know?
It drives the story faster.
Yeah.
So then they got to peace out, and like Gandalf's all like, Sam, mofo, you're my man, you're my bro.
That was only because he was like overheard everything.
Peering.
Otherwise, what would have happened?
Full-on creeper.
I mean,
he claims he was a gardener, but he's just a peeping Tom.
But that was like the crux of the importance of if he had not been there.
Yeah.
All would have been lost.
Yeah. He was just in the bushes getting his jaws.
So wrong. Why are you doing that to Sam? He's a gardener, man.
Yeah, he's pruning something.
Oh, God. Just sitting over there pining about his girlfriend that he didn't have the guts to ask for. So then, see, that's why at the very, very end, he decides to go after her, because it was like, wow, look what doing this in the bushes got me. So I need to go get myself a girl.
That hobbit's whacking in my bushes again.
That was the hardest lesson ever. Don't whack in the bushes. That's what the whole story about. It's all a lesson. That's why that one guy looks at them so angrily. Yeah, it's like
that's the Hank Hill of the thing where he's like, that hobbit's whacking in the bushes again.
That's the whole. So we have solved it. That was the story. Right.
That's why Sam was so desperate through the whole thing, because he was just like, man. Someone only told me that I shouldn't be whacking in the bushes. I wouldn't get dragged into the quest.
Exactly.
So that's something for all yous out there. Don't be whacking in the bushes.
And because you never know what horrible karma will bring you.
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
Do it where everyone else does it, Light some candles. I'm
not going to comment on this anymore.
Just have a good time. Private time. Don't go in the bushes.
I don't know, bushes.
You get dragged on a quest.
Depends what kind of bushes.
And you get told that if you do anything, you're in deep.
Yeah.
So anyways, they go on their little trip, and that's...
Who knew we would be talking about that this episode, huh?
Because those damn hobbits whacking in my bushes again. So they go off, and they're on their little trip, and like Sam...
We've now hit 25 minutes.
Frodo is just like... What up, Sam? We're going on a walk. And Sam's like, okay, I got my food and pans and all that. And then they run into Merry and Pippin.
They're out stealing vegetables.
Yeah, right? They paint the hobbits out to be good, wholesome folks. They are
criminals.
They are
filthy criminals whacking in the bushes.
And stealing vegetables.
This is why Frodo's the ring bearer, is because he's the only decent person.
Yeah, because he was just out, just...
Bet you didn't think we could ruin Lord of the Rings for you.
But yeah, so...
We're only halfway through our beer, by the way.
They're they meet them up, and they're stealing things, and they get knocked off a hill, and that's when we get to see the first wraith.
Yes.
Right?
Those things we've decided... Well, we've not decided. We're contemplating the concept, because they remind me of Dementors. And I'm wondering if...
Kiddo was like, those look like Dementors.
Yeah.
Like, well, this stuff was written before.
So I'm wondering if actually that might have been some influence for her, because these these stories are so old.
Yeah, because it's from 48.
The actual stories, right? And so if that had any influence on her, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Because you'd think if Rowling wrote in a magical world, she would have liked fantasy stories, right? So because they remind me so much of that, with just the darkness that surrounds them, and the creepiness, right? So yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I like that scene too, because like, as it like grabs onto the roots and stuff, like Frodo's all like in ecstasy from the pain of the ring around him, doesn't know why.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of sexual. The way that he writhes. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
It's always been uncomfortable for me to watch. And because you don't know if you're like what he's feeling exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting the urge to whack in the woods.
There's people here, guys. Come on. Oh, God.
No, but...
Now that's all you're going to think about.
Watch Lord of the Rings. Yay! Cup of Rad. Yeah. Makes you think weird things about your favorite characters in the woods.
That's what we do best.
So anyways, Not seriously, but no, like he looks like he's in pain, but like he's enjoying it, but he's not. Like it's like a weird thing's going on. But then like that's not the part of the movie I like. The thing that I like is like all the bugs start creeping and crawling out. And,
well, they're running away from him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're coming out. Yeah, they're coming out of the woodwork. Like they're just like you know. I think that's a really cool scene to show.
I don't understand how like
there, right?
There's these magical things that are supposed to be drawn to the ring, yet they don't know how to look down. Like, they're so blind to what's right in front of them.
Because they're like Michael Keaton and Batman.
Okay, they can't turn his actually head. Turn their head. Okay. Yeah. Point. Enough said. Right there.
I'm a Wraith.
I wish you could see this right now.
I'm a Wraith.
But just imagine Wraith Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. I can only turn my shoulders.
Yeah.
And bend at the waist, and at the time,
but they are very scary with how big they are and how fast they are. And like I like when they kick in the gate into the town and everything. Like there's just like,
land over the man.
Yeah, it's just like get out of my way, fool. Right.
Fran Walsh, the director, Peter Jackson's wife, is actually the scream of the Wraiths.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
So
the cats were not a fan of the Wraiths.
No, not at all.
Or I know this is jumping ahead, but the Witch King's dragon, while I'm thinking about it, that screeching thing, because it was making everyone in the movie freak out, right? And that was a horrible sound, and they were not okay with it.
They didn't like that at all. No.
Which makes sense, so. But yeah, so we're in the bar here, and...
so then we get to meet Aragon.
Ranger.
You know, the Strider. That's what we meet. Sorry, not Aragon. We didn't know he was Aragon yet.
He's Strider for 2 seconds.
Yeah, right?
I was like, oh crap,
he strides in.
Nice. Nice.
As the hobbits are getting totally plastered.
Because they come in pints.
Yeah. Which we might need another.
It's interesting because it's like, I know that they were drinking and that was why. But Frodo was like, yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone my real name and I'm going to hide all
Underhill.
This. By the way, I'm not going to also tell my companions that I'm doing this. So
Underhill.
Telling everyone.
Oh, I know a Frodo. I know a Baggins.
He's like, oh my good gracious.
Over there.
Just want to bitch slap him. Like,
make sure he stays down.
Of course.
But yeah, Ray, like he's just married. He's just so like, woo.
Yeah.
He just thinks everyone's his friend, though. He's that optimistic.
He's so innocent,
so
right? So
for being such a criminal, for stealing carrots and potatoes. I mean, like,
well, you know what?
He needs
they
to
apparently need to eat a lot, and you know what? Apparently, food should be shared. I guess so. With the never satisfied hobbits,
right?
Always need to eat food.
But yeah,
so Wraith Battle then.
Wraith Battle. Let's just jump right ahead to that.
So that is at some point, you know, near the end of this Wraith Battle here. Oh, this is way far in the future. Never mind. Go ahead.
Anyways, there's the Weathertop where Strider has now befriended the hobbits.
Yes.
And that's your first real, like, besides the prologue, action scene.
Yes.
Right. We get to see Strider
like actually starting to fight, right?
Yeah. And so that was the first scene that was filmed with the dude, Viggo Mortensen. And he refused.
As Kiddo would like to call him, the Human King.
Yeah. Refused to have a prop sword. He actually wanted a real sword because he wanted to feel the weight.
That badass.
Right. So he actually had a real sword. It wasn't rubber. It wasn't aluminum. It was steel, which, you know, so he...
Well, then you can get the actual, like, struggle of having to fling your arm around like that. It's not an easy...
The only thing that's going to be scary is if you're one of the stunt people that are like, you know, this guy's like, no, I'm so method, I have a sword.
Yeah, you're like, holy
I'm going to
shit.
fuck you up.
Right?
If I miss, don't be on your mark.
Right.
Because I've never really...
got a motherfucker.
Right? So we get to see, because then Frodo freaks out and he puts the ring on.
You get to see the mystical world that he gets into with that.
You get to see the race and in their like negative color.
Yeah.
You know.
That was nightmarish when I was younger.
You know,
yeah.
And then he gets stabbed like a pig.
Yeah, that's not happy. It's a horrible stab. That thing. So yeah, it's not healing or anything like that, right? So he gets it looks like kind of zombie.
Yeah, he gets all pasty and
milky.
You know, one thing I thought was really cool was that when Strider decides to say, you know, about looking for the weed to help with it, slow it down. Mm-hmm. it's a weird thing, but I like the fact that he's like, Sam, do you know what blah, 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 blah is? He actually asks him. He communicates to make sure that he knows what he's looking for before he says, go find it. Right. And then he's the one, Strider's the one that finds it anyways, but faster. Still. But it was a weird thing of like actually asking. It wasn't just like, go find this. And him not maybe knowing. Like it was like he made sure that he knew. And I always thought that was a cool.
Because Strider that's the reason why he's awesome and he deserves to rule, is because he's one of the most level-headed humans, because he actually cares, and it shows his upbringing there is that there's that thought process that not everyone is going to know, but I need to communicate better. And it just shows his character right there. Right. You know, he's not demanding of things. He wants to know if someone can actually help and if they have the knowledge to help. It's not just, you should know this stuff.
Right. Do my bidding.
Or make the assumptions of things, right? So
then we get to meet Liv Taylor.
That elf woman.
What's her name?
I'm not gonna. Sorry if I make you freak out as a fan. I have a hard time with a lot of their names. Erwin, something of that nature. I don't know if I say it right. We'll look it up.
Anyways, so then like Strider ends up finding her, and that was a little bit weird because she's just like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And then she's like, whoa, this little hobbit dude's dying. What'd you do to him? And he's like, yo, the Wraith showed up and popped him. Right. And he's like, he's going to die. And she's like, well, yeah, he's going to die. Throw him on my horse. I'm going to get him out of here. He's like, no, you can't do that. They'll hurt you. And then she's all like, psh, bitch, I ride better than you. Once I get over that river, I'm safe.
And she just
takes off like a lightning bolt. Right.
That is like the first like holy crap suspenseful moment. And I love that scene with her being chased by the Wraiths, because it's just like, oh my god.
Well, you know what's amazing about it too is the fact that it's being still practical. And that's what I like, that the movie dealt so much with practical effects. Arwen Evenstar. So she's like a pirate. Arr!
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to find ways to help. Like the fact that I always got Saruman and Sauron confused forever. And I was just like, because they're both evil. And I mean, seriously, why did he think it was okay to make their names so freaking similar? And then Mike swooped in with the...
There's probably, there's probably somebody that was in Germany that was named Hitler and then was all like, no, I'm not that Hitler.
I know, but that was like real world. This is him making up shit, and I'm going to put it in the same thing.
But it's probably the same idea, right?
Or maybe it's the concept of maybe they're supposed to be... Maybe Mon is meaning the opposite. So evil and he's supposed to be bright.
Yeah,
that could actually be it. But Saruman is a man.
Maybe it's his reggae
name.
Like,
oh my god! No, I'm trying to make a real legitimate thing.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Elves getting chased by the...
You were saying.
No, we're done now.
No,
I'm done.
You're done?
Mm-hmm. I'm done. I'm just done with that thing right there.
Well, it was
sharing something with you.
It was tying back to the weed. All the weed that they smoke.
It's not much weed. So we have the elves now.
Yeah, the elves. The elves are like...
Kiddo loves... So this is how much of this has now influenced our lives, is we are currently now working on a elvish Rivendell house in Sims.
Yeah, they've gone quite, deep into this whole elf thing.
I'm determined to make an elf in Sims. And they're going to be... Flowing magical. Yeah. But he loved the setting. He loved that their whole house, their living areas, the outdoors, the openness. He really, really liked Rivendell for sure.
Yeah. So then Gandalf's all like, what up? And Frodo's like, yo, man, you left me. What the dog? He's like, sorry, I was taken. And what happened was Gandalf had gone to Sauron. I was all like, yo, the eye, man. The One Ring has been found, dude.
Well, then he had this mystical, magical seeing eye thing.
And Saruman's like, yeah, he's like, I got this ball.
And he was like, this is not okay to have. Well, then it turns out, what's impressive is I forgot how quickly Saruman actually was like, yep, I'm the bad guy. Surprise. Right? He was never.
He doesn't even hide it.
No, Christopher Lee. He was just like immediately. It's Christopher Lee. Of course, he's going to be an asshole. Like. Like,
He's really known as Dracula, Dooku, you know, all those evil roles.
he's just bad. So he was just immediately like, yeah, you're supposed to be joining me on the dark side. Like, he just sounded like Count Dooku.
Well, like, because he goes ahead and but even when he's talking about everything that he's seen and all that, he's smiling.
He's just like, oh, yes, he's out to destroy the world. Isn't it wonderful?
Sauron is doing these things, and there's an army about to be built. I love armies and death. Don't you, Gandalf? Look, I'm killing a baby right now.
So he was just like, oh, okay, you're not going to join my side. I'm going to kill you now.
Yeah, and then we get a wizard duel.
Yes.
And, like, it's like a mystical wizard duel.
Flipping around.
It was always a weird scene because, like, you know, later on, whenever you see wizard stuff, mainly Harry Potter, you like wands and stuff, they'd actually, like, shoot stuff. This is, like, invisible energy.
It's just invisible energy, yeah.
And, like, they're just but they're actually, like, beating on each other, like bloodied faces and all that, right?
Slamming each other into the wall.
And the only thing about that scene, it still bugs me to this day, is like his Homer Simpson, whoop, 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 as like he's like holding both staffs and Gandalf's head's on the ground. He's spinning backwards.
It's like, how else can we make him spin with the easiest budget?
Right?
We're just gonna pin his head in place and throw his arms and his legs around.
So then he gets chucked up in there, and then they're still battling, and he goes off, and a moth shows up, and he's all like, yo, moth dude, I need help. And then Saruman's all, you know, ranting, monologuing about being evil and shit. And Gandalf's like, psh, eagles, and jumps.
Those eagles are amazing, man.
So, now one thing I did read is that, because in the books and stuff, it talks about how eagles are arrogant and all that, and they don't really want to be part of anything. They're in their own thing. That's why they don't help until the end, because then they see, like, well, they need to help to.
Like, there's no other option.
Yeah, there's no other option. It's like basically like, damn, we all's gonna die. So
we're all gonna die if we don't help.
Yeah, so that's why the idea that they don't use eagles to fly. So,
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Right. But the idea that they thought they didn't need to put it in the movie, but then they were like, after people were like, why didn't they just use the eagles? And they're like, damn it, we should put that in there.
Yeah.
So the eagle should have flown in and be like, Gandalf, now you owe me 50 G's. This ride ain't free, yo.
Who knows what Gandalf did to help them, you know, to pay it off the debt. Right?
That wizard's whacking that eagle in the woods.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
My high club.
Somehow it all comes back to whacking somewhere.
In the woods.
Somewhere.
So anyway, so then you find out Bilbo, and he's all old, and he's all like, what up? And Frodo's like, damn, you got old, dude. And he's like, I know I got old. Where's my ring? Give me my ring, bitch. And Frodo's like, no, you can't touch this thing. And then he goes all like...
Yeah, he looks like Gollum there.
Yeah, and what that is that was actually a puppet stand-in, because they had to have all the makeup on Bilbo to make him look old, right? And then they flashed that they used a puppet. I think that's pretty cool. Apparently Ian Holm had actually kept that puppet because he thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that thing's creepy.
All right. So then we get the Fellowship. Finally, we get the Fellowship, and the Fellowship is all like made up.
Well, it's interesting because you can see right away then that the humans are still the problem. You know, because you know, Boromir wants the ring immediately,
and we get that famous meme.
Yeah.
One does not insert whatever you want. That didn't come off right.
Just let you marinate on that one. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so they've decided that, you know, that's what's going to happen, is they're going to go off and sally forth towards Mount Doom.
Sally forth!
Well, because originally Gandalf wanted to just keep it in Riverdale, right? And yes, I said Rivendell. And it was like, no, this is not staying here. Right. That thing is scary, and everyone's going to kill us if it stays here. So
Agent Smith walked out and was like,
it's just like, no.
Stay here, Mr. Gandalf.
Because I can't not see Agent Smith when I see him. It's just like Agent Smith meets Elf, and it's like if the Matrix got turned into a fantasy world. That is what Agent Smith would be in that fantasy world, is he would be, you know, high ranking elf. So,
you know what I love too is to show how terrible Elvish security is, because they were like surprised that all the hobbits showed up to the meeting, and like Elrond's all like, you know, wow, even when he's like to a secret, he makes sure to say secret meeting.
Yeah.
And it's like, apparently it was not secret.
You were right out in the open and no one was guarding you.
Right.
Because apparently you thought that elves apparently follow rules. So it's just like, oh, okay, we're not supposed to go
Oh, they're all having
near
a
that.
secret meeting up in the tower there. No worries, it's a secret meeting place. We're good. Just stay away from there, okay, guys? It's a secret meeting. Remember that. We're elves and we're true to our word and we stay away from that secret meeting.
Exactly. But hobbits don't know that. They don't know the etiquette of staying away from secret
Sam was actually whacking in the bushes. Shit, it happened again. I mean, I was here to help Frodo, guys.
Well, it was his last moment alone, so, what are they going to do?
he's like, damn, that's a nice waterfall. I'm going to whack. Oh, shit, they're having a meeting. I actually really like Sam. A few beers in, and
It's just so bad.
when I was younger, I was like, I didn't understand Sam's character.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He is the GOAT.
Well, yeah, there was no way they would have died in the first movie. Frodo would have not been able to make it. Immediately given up. Just like, nope.
Yeah, he would have
I'm going to go live in this cave or I'm going to walk off this cliff. One of these two.
Man, this ring's nice. I like this ring.
Right?
This is my ring.
Okay, so we've set off on our
journey.
We have our group of ragtag
group of jaunty sailors
on our Sally Forth journey.
Sally Forth. So they go off and they're all like, yeah, we're gonna go this way and that way and every which way, and and Bromir's all like, I want that ring. You gonna give me that ring? Mm-hmm. And Frodo's like, yeah, I ain't gonna get this ring. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get that ring anytime I can. And so they're still going along. And one thing we did notice though was that Boromir was like totally cool with like playing with the hobbits when they were like, he was trying to teach them how to use their swords.
Yeah.
And he was like laughing and they're tickling him. He's like, and then Strider's all like, no, we don't laugh, we don't play.
Well, it shows the difference between him growing up in a world of men versus Aragorn in elves, where they're much more serious and very down to the point. And it shows the more carefree silliness that can come still from it, and their background. They're still the same species, but their environment was so different, right? And I think that really shows their difference right there. It just is
interesting, just for the fact you see like how quickly Boromir is taken over, by the power of the ring, but yet he's so much almost nicer, right? Because he doesn't have that callousness to him, right? Yeah. So they're going along and they're all like, let's go this way, that, and Gandalf's like, no, we're gonna go over the mountain. And they get up in the snow and the hobbits start dying. They're like, yo, dude, we're turning popsicles. And Sam's like, I can't whack in the snow, dude. And
I'm giving him a look of shame right now.
Shame. So then they're like, okay, well, where do you want to go?
Wizard.
There's no shame when you're whacking in the bushes. Random Big Mouth, if you didn't already know.
Oh my god, you missed the body movement and everything. Anyways.
So
then they decide they're going to go onto the mountain. Yeah. And I like the monologue that Gandalf has with Saruman, with the idea where he's like, it's just the inner statement feel where it's like, what's underneath there.
Because Saruman's seen all this and he's like,
because he's like, you're gonna die, because he has his spies everywhere, and he's like, you know what, you know that the dwarves dug too deep and their greed was too great and they have unleashed something from the depths. And it was just like, holy crap, So, but it shows them how desperate he really is that he knows all of that, and yet he knows that's the only way to do it. Right? I love the solving the door for the riddle. Solving the riddle for the door. And he just racking his brain and everything. And then those goddamn hobbits having to mess up things again, though.
Yo, this was a good teaching moment, because I'm always like, to kid him, like, stop throwing rocks in the water.
Yeah.
And then, like,
I think now we have a reason to tell him to not.
Yo, you remember that when those hobbits threw rocks?
And the Kraken showed up? Do you remember the Kraken? Do you want to wake the Kraken up?
Every pond ever, there's a Kraken in that pond. Don't throw rocks.
Because that was not a very large body of water for such a big freaking creature.
No, right?
Like, holy hell.
Yeah. So
But they open up the door with a really simple answer.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because Gimli is expecting them to be alive. And as I say, they were dead for a while now.
They were skeletons.
Yeah.
There was no fleshy bits.
There was no flesh, skeletons. And being underground like that, they would have taken a long time to decay because there was no environment to have knocked, But damn, that is a big underground city that they have. All those columns everywhere, like unnecessary amount of columns.
That was the thing that was funny because they were like, look at the grandeur of this mighty place.
I see columns. Where's the actual city?
And you're like, okay, what did you do in between the columns? Did you set up a flea market?
Yeah.
Like,
was this a marketplace?
Was it were we having some barbecue?
Yeah.
Was Sam whacking in the dark? We don't know.
All the dwarves were whacking in the dark.
They weren't mining. That's the sound you heard.
Oh, that's how they kept it clean. Everything was shiny. This has gotten so far in the gutter. It's awful. But apparently there are still orcs around.
Yeah, goblins.
And goblins. They were goblins and everything. So they, of course, then find this tomb area where they're kind of the last stand.
And this annoyed Kiddo so much. When Mary backs into that thing and just sends that thing down the drain.
He was mortified. It was hilarious. Because it just kept going, and he's like, and then this happened, and then this, and then, oh my god. And like, yeah, see, little tiny thing that you just don't mean to do.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
Look, if you hadn't touched that arrow.
Maybe we tell him to not touch things more often in stores and look.
Right? Maybe he'll learn from this. This is a good learning lesson for the fact that, if Mary hadn't touched that arrow, that body wouldn't have dropped, and then that thing would have fallen, and then they wouldn't have been attacked by all the goblins and the troll.
Yeah. Real world consequences of curiosity.
Yeah.
Right there.
Mary's character really shows that his curiosity gets him in trouble more than anything.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's always just touching things. He can't keep his damn hands to himself.
Right?
He should just learn how to whack in the bushes.
So then the
respectable like Sam.
Giant troll shows up. One thing that you had commented that I think was right is that the thing is not... It's huge and it takes a lot to take it down, but it is not invulnerable. Every time it gets hit, it shows that it feels something. It's not like leather,
Yeah, because Frodo slashes at his hand even, and it rears back in pain. And I thought that was a cool detail.
Well, yeah, because it at least feels like there is a possibility they can defeat it. When you have an enemy that's like...
You're hitting it with swords and all that, and it's just like...
Yeah, and then you're like, how could you possibly do that, And yeah, so it does at least feel like at some point they should be able to do something about it, right?
I loved when Frodo gets shanked and both of you guys had that look because you could tell you didn't remember.
I couldn't remember. And it was just like, I know obviously he lives, but I don't know how. Like they're already past the elf. Like how the hell is he going to get out of this?
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
About the mithril?
Yes. It was horrible.
That hobbit's surprising.
Kiddo was mortified. And then even when that happened, I was like, but he looks so horrible. Like, what? And you make a good point, though. Even if it didn't pierce you, you just got socked in the gut by a troll.
Yeah,
with a spear.
People get welts from
it's gonna knock your breath out, and it's gonna hurt.
It's like a train.
Yeah. So he deserves to have that horrible look of agony and way too long drawn out agony. And
it was emotional. I felt every rib break.
Okay.
I didn't get speared, but I broke 3 ribs.
Yeah, touche. Yeah, right? Never saw anything broken on them, right?
He just, this like this purpley welted body.
Right? They continue on into the horrible depths of those terrifying
and all the goblins are coming out. They're like,
oh my god.
And then the goblins circle them. They're like, damn, we're going to get killed by goblins. And like, stand your ground. And then all of a sudden you hear the boom.
And then they just all run away. Like cockroaches or something.
Yeah.
They light up and you're like, holy shit, what actually can make them scared, right?
Yeah. And
yeah, so as they get deeper and deeper, as I say, those stairs, like horrible anxiety. Who built stairs like that? So it gets worse and worse for their suspense, right? And now we're like, kiddo, now you can finally understand that you shall not pass. thing we yell all the time. And
I'm just glad that all those like goblins were bad shots.
Yes,
they were like the stormtroopers. Yeah, they're just like
how did you miss that many times? Because it's like a barrage of arrows and nothing hit anyone.
Aragon and Legolas are like, what damn bullseye every time, and like there's like 3 or 4 arrows.
Yeah, they are.
But at the same time, I love that. I love seeing the because you don't really ever see that in other movies. Arrows hitting and ricocheting off and bouncing. Yeah. Like that's something that I thought is a cool effect, right?
Yeah. They don't just like hit something and fall straight down.
Yeah, or just like they fire them, but you never see where they go, right? Yeah. In this, you always usually see where the arrow goes, even if it hits something and bounces off. Yeah. But I know Kiddo was really getting mad about the fact they kept going back up the stairs when the pieces were breaking. He's like, why? How are you going to make it? Right? So then, about that. Then we finally get across, and then Gandalf's all like, yo, I'm going to stand my ground. And he like throws his staff into the ground.
Oh, it was so awesome because it's like right there.
You shall not pass.
It's all epic-y.
And then
he doesn't pass. He falls down. Yeah. But then Gandalf decides that, no, it's okay for me to turn around and not watch as the giant beast goes down.
Or run.
You know what? I'm just going to be like, yeah, we're cool, even though I knew he had a giant fiery whip.
Because he's high. I know. Because he was smoking his pipe when he couldn't remember which way to go. Yep. So he just literally turned around and he had his moment where he's like, I just beat that fire demon. Right?
And then he got pulled off a cliff.
So don't turn your back on dudes with whips. Like, come on.
When you're going to take someone down,
look at Indiana Jones.
You make sure you watch them fall to their death.
Or run. Just run.
Just run. So then,
simplest explanation.
Then it's the idea like, wait a second. I'm going to make sure I pass on my knowledge that I should have ran. Right. So he tells them,
fly, you fools. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of people get the idea, like, maybe he's actually telling them to fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? No, it's just run really fast.
Call that airline.
It's just not better than run really fast.
Yeah,
it sounds a little bit more epic.
Right? Because you got to think with the dialect that they're using, nothing's really said. Everything's in riddles, right?
Yes.
Too. And it's that idea of like, for Gandalf to suddenly said, run, you fools.
Because at one point, they're like, oh, you're still talking riddles. And Gandalf laughs like, I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, the 2 towers there.
Like, what? So, yeah, that's part of the requirement of being a wizard is to speak in riddles.
Now, in all serious and all that, though, it's pretty hilarious to see how... Not hilarious.
It's hilarious. Oh, I want to know what was hilarious.
No, it's not hilarious. I just said hilarious. I don't know where I was going. Cinematically, when they get out and the pain they see, not hilarious. The dramatic pain that they see, and it's all like quiet. And you just have the music and
it's a very poignant scene,
dramatic, and they're all like screaming and they're out, and then they're all sad, and like Boromir's like, give them a second.
Well, this is another scene that shows the difference between Boromir and Aragorn, is how much he's like, let them grieve for a moment, and Aragorn's like, well, no, we got to keep moving. Right. Very much like to the point.
You don't like... Aragorn's really cool, but he's a lot more of a dick in that movie.
Yes.
Right?
Well, because he's still so much of his outcast. It's that idea, though, as the movies go on, he gains more of his compassion and humanity back, right? He turns from this lone wolf, more of the elf feel, to much more of the compassion. So I think Kiddo was he was shocked, but he was... I don't know if
I don't think he believed it.
I don't think so either. I think he was kind of like, no, that can't be it.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
whatever, guys.
He's gonna superhero death and he'll be back. Right? Don't worry. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so then they gotta go and they find the woodland elves, and that's where Kiddo coined the term. They're hauntingly beautiful.
Yes. He really liked that whole scene, but he was definitely like, this is kind of creepy all at the same time. Right. Like he was fascinated by it, opposed to with Rivendell, he was just like, wow, it's so pretty, and it was that bright and shiny aspect. Yeah. Right? So
I like the wood ones because like I like Ewoks, right? So I'm all like, oh, I live in the trees. Look at all these fancy tree things.
I like watching these again now because I can clear up some of these like old preconceived things of, first really watching them as teenager. But I, for some reason, always felt, and maybe it's because the lady had gone all demonic looking for a
Lady Galandria.
Yeah, I kept having the sense like there was something evil about them, like they were suspicious elves. They are not. I mean, they're
tricky.
Yeah, they are not, right? I mean, they end up being someone who actually does come and help, and she's helpful throughout the whole thing. But she's meant to make you uneasy, right? When you first introduced, because she's talking to so many different people, and it's still like questionable type things. But there really is no real malice there, but it comes across that way, right? And so, but it always came to my head like they were like the evil elves, and Rivendell was the good elves. And it was nice to be able to see like, no, that's not the case. It was just a different style. Just different. Yeah.
There's the woodland elves.
Yeah.
I always thought when she shows that side where Frodo says, no, just take the ring. I don't want the ring.
Yeah.
And then that's the one scene in the movies that I just feels cheap to me.
Yeah.
Where it's like she goes all like evil and they threw a fan on her and she's all like, whoa, I'm beautiful and fantastic and I can do amazing things. But they're like, yeah, how about we just put this in like night vision? Yeah. That's the one.
It looked almost, it was, to me,
looks like the
It looks like the wraiths, right?
Yeah.
So it's the idea of what she would become if she had the ring, and that's what the point of it is, right? But because she is not all like decrepit and zombie like the wraiths are, then you don't get that quick first sense.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks evil and scary, and that was what their way of doing it was. It was more a bit zombie feel, right? Yeah. So, but it's more of the opposite of it, I guess, right?
I think maybe if it wasn't the fact that the entire background, if it was just her, it would have made more sense. But it's the background and everything goes at, and they're like, it was just the quick fix of like, how can we change this, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, so they go ahead and they're like, great, it's awesome. Here's some stuff. We're going to give you things. And they each get, a cloak and a little item.
Little goodie bags.
And they throw
Elf
them,
goodie bags.
right?
Yay!
I like goodie bags.
Off they go.
And they send them off down the river because it's the safest option. And so that's when you get your actual other introduction to Smeagol.
Yes. Because
you find out that he's been still tracking them.
Yeah, and then you find out that they're still there. Well, because we never even touched on the fact that they knew where to find and start looking for Bilbo originally because the Sauron had tortured him.
Yeah, and
so he definitely plays an important part because he knows who had taken the ring from him. Yeah. Right. So that otherwise it would have been fine if they had never caught him. Right. So.
Right. So then you get to that one landing. And they're all camping. They're like, we'll cross over, after. We'll go over the river there and we'll continue our journey. And Frodo's like, you know what? I'm a wanted man. I'm going to go for a walk in the woods.
Yeah, because, no harm there.
Probably looking for a place to whack.
Of course.
And
I'm going to go whack it in these ruins.
Yeah, and Boromir shows up and he's like, hey...
Super manipulative. I'm going to make it seem like I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, I'm out here collecting wood. You're out here. Maybe you just give me that ring. And then Frodo's all like, nah, man, you're evil.
I said, bitch.
Yeah, right? and then the evil Uruk-hai shows up. Oh, well, rewind. The Uruk-hai, when Saruman is building his army, I love those shots. Oh, especially that music, that pounding music, that...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the camera like swoops through and like circles under.
Oh, yeah.
Very Evil Dead-y.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like swings through the miniature sets that they built because they use a lot of miniatures for that whole scene. And then you see all the because Isengard's like tearing the forest down and building an army. And they blend the orcs and the orcs and the goblins together to create the Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
Right? And these little mud babies pop out.
Terrifying.
And they're all warrior wise. And so these things come and they attack.
Yes.
And
well, it's interesting because they're told by Saruman to make sure that Halfling has the ring, so bringing him back alive and unspoiled idea, and they're very smart warriors, right? And that's what makes them so scary is they're not so sporadic. They
listen to orders, themselves. Right?
Yeah, they're more military feel, right? So opposed to just random like we don't have any morals and we're just going to kill anything and a mob. versus soldiers, right?
Yeah.
And so they're definitely more frightening for sure. So
And this is one thing that's cool. This is one thing I like about Fellowship out of the three of them the most is the buildup. Each battle, I find, each action set gets more intense and more epic feeling throughout the movie, right? It just builds off. It's like we get a little one, then we get a bigger one, and then we get like the biggest one.
yeah,
And so everyone's battling the Uruk-hai, and you know, Frodo's running away and Boromir's fighting, and Aragorn shows up and he's all pew pew with his sword, and you know, and Legolas is out there doing his thing. But then you get to see the one that's like the commander, which for the movies they made them stand out, of course, right?
Yeah.
Like the books didn't really have like name them or anything like that. This one was called like Lutz or something.
yeah,
And so he's out there and he's all, you know, firing his arrows at Boromir. And it's pretty intense because the arrows he's shooting, they're
like
not
spears.
You know, like Legolas is like your finger width. Like this guy is like spears. And, and when it hits Boromir, it's just like boom.
Well, that's one of the things that's impressive in general. The Uruk-hai and their armies, how much advanced weaponry they actually have. Like there's a lot of very high powered.
It's like the modernization of the world, right?
Yeah, it was interesting to see that. But yeah, that was they're much deadlier looking arrows, and damn, Boromir takes so many of them.
He takes it like a champ.
It's super impressive, and and so
but he finally clears up, and he's like, you know, damn, I did bad. I gotta help these other hobbits. So he tries to help Merry and Pippin.
Right. So, and it's impressive because, you know, as much as and especially later on, as you learn more about his character and his past and everything, you know that he himself had good intentions for it, and he wasn't trying to do it out of a source of evil or pure greed or anything like that. But that's part of that downfall, is that you can't actually see the other side of it when you have an inkling for it, right?
Yeah.
And you know, he was able to still, once he got away from the ring, he was able to let that go and remember the positive and the good person that he really was, and that he really was a strong character. So it's just absolutely devastating when he does die.
Yeah.
And he goes down with such a fight and goes down in such a heroic manner of really trying to save them. And I know they end up getting, taken, but still.
He still puts up a fight.
Yeah, he does everything he possibly can to save him, right? So that was definitely a heroic ending for him, for sure. So, but
then you find out that Frodo is like, I'm peacing out, I'm leaving you all behind. Sam sees him and he's like, what up? I was told to save you.
So this always bothered me, that Sam literally walks out and starts to drown himself in order for the plea to go with him. And I know what you said too. You didn't really understand Sam and their relationship when you were younger. And same with me, where you get more of a respect for how he is and how important he is for it. But that's one of those scenes that always bothered me, and it still bothered me now. And you know the importance and you understand it. But so when I talk to myself through it, everything's fine. But it's still like, dude, you were really going against every instinct to survive, and you're just going to drown yourself because you feel like you need to go out there and be with him. And it's just like...
I think it's also, though, the idea of making sure to pull Frodo back to see that he still needs people.
Yeah, and so...
Because the idea, if he ran away on his own, he would have just holed up in a hole and just like, you know...
He would have just given in, right? So it reminded Frodo that he still wants to look out for people. Yeah. That it's not just about himself. So it is a very important catalyst to say, hey, you still care that someone is caring about you. Because if you really didn't care and you cared more about the ring and getting away from us, then you would just say, that's nice, and leave. Yeah. And so I know that it's really, really important, but it's weird to see it on maybe if it would have been different if I was reading it. Yeah. But yeah, so I understand the purpose of it, and it definitely is an important part. Yeah. But I don't know why it's just always bothered me.
So then, so they take off, and then Gimli and Legolas are like, let's follow them. And Aragorn's like, no, we can't do that. They've got their own mission. We've got ours. Yeah. We gotta
save the hobbits.
We've got to save the hobbits, and we've got some orcs to hunt. Yeah. And then they go running off into the sunset.
More running.
And that is the moment where I said, we need to dress this up. Kiddo can be Gimli, you can be Legolas, and I'll be Aragorn.
Yep.
And then for Halloween,
we're just gonna run around.
We're not gonna trick or treat at people's places. We're just gonna run through the neighborhood.
Yep, looking for hobbits. Yep. That's what I would like to do.
And then see if anyone is like, what's up?
Oh, so here, okay. This will be the most clothes I've ever worn for Halloween. Plus, I'll get to run. It'll be the warmest Halloween ever.
Right? It's cardio.
Yeah.
And, but that's what we should do, because that'd be hilarious.
And Kiddo would be like Gimli, oh my God, you guys, I can't keep up with you, because out of the three of us, you could probably run I can run for a decent amount, but you can run better than I can. It would perfectly match. And then Kiddo would be in the background going, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Because he's going to have a beard and a helmet and an axe.
You're going to just find him sitting on a rock being like, I'll wait till you come back around.
Because what did you find out? You found that Aragorn is 87.
Yes. Damn.
So that's something to strive for.
He is a mutant, by the way. We have decided he's a mutant. He is a rare species of men that is gifted with unnaturally long life. And so yeah, he's a mutant.
But there's something to strive for, though. If he can look like that at 87, then I've got hope. I'm not even halfway there.
Yeah. So you too can look like a man who was raised by elves.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the first movie.
So Kiddo really loved, he said it was a really good movie, obviously, because he was dying to watch more of them. He loved looking at the different landscapes and how much the world changed itself, and that concept of it was very marked differences between everything. And you saw every different type of terrain possible, which was super impressive. He really, really liked the battle with the Uruk-hai. The last battle there was really impressive.
Because it's an epic battle. There's a lot going on. You get to actually finally see everyone do their thing.
You had said you really liked too, because they're actual characters. They're in makeup. They're not all
There
CG.
was a lot of people that got heat stroke, so,
So it's totally worth it.
But, I love the shots where the Uruk-hai are coming down the stairs, and the camera's above them, and it's following down with them, and there's, just 30 guys running down the stairs into the woods, and that was real.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Amazing.
So that's a lot to balance and a lot to coordinate.
Especially wearing all those costumes and the makeup.
Yeah.
To make sure no one tripped and fell.
So Gandalf,
the hobbits whacking in the woods.
Gandalf was his favorite character, so he was really sad when he died.
He did finally come around and realize when the movie ended.
Yeah, he was just like, whoa, wait a second. What?
Wait a minute. Did he actually die? And we're like, yeah, he died. He did.
Yeah. And then, of course, we already said the Hauntingly Beautiful for the Force Elves. So he really liked them. And he was really, every single time he saw them, he's like, oh, yeah, those are the guys that the Hobbit saw at the beginning walking into the... Yes, it was back to that. So that, really stuck with him. Yeah. And he was not a fan of the goblins in the cave scene. He was definitely clawing onto my arm for me there. And he was just like, oh, my God, what is going on here? So...
But he was enthralled. He asked, when are we watching the next one?
Yeah. Well, and because normally if a movie's too long, he'll start flailing about and kicking his legs everywhere. He was not. He was definitely interested and paying attention and wanting to know about what was going on. So, it was enjoyable.
So did the Fellowship live up for your Radnesia watching for it?
It did, because I think it was even more enjoyable than I can remember it. Out of the three of them, it is the one that I know the most. But as I say, it was nice to kind of clear up some of those things that were not quite clear in my head, a little bit of fuzziness for the different characters, because there are so many to keep track of. And it only gets worse. That one, of course, is the easiest because you have those core characters continue being on. Yeah. And you have very select characters. You're not adding a whole bunch of them on top of it. So I understand why it's the most clear, but yeah, just kind of clearing some of those things up. So I really still enjoy it. What about you?
I think I got a better appreciation the older I am watching it again. And I just that nostalgia for the practical effects really kicked in this time.
Yeah.
Because it is a beautiful film.
Yeah.
And it's great to see those effects.
Well, it's impressive how well it really stood up.
Yeah, because there's not.
It was not like, wow, this is dated.
There's only a couple of scenes, mainly with the troll aspect more, and besides that, and you can tell a couple the miniatures.
Yeah,
but it's still a pretty solid movie.
Yeah, so I'm impressed. So just like this epicness that is the Lord of the Rings entire movie, apparently our episode is going to be also a parted episode epic, because we have been talking for a very long time just about one movie.
Oh, there you go. Apparently, we're going to break it up into multiple episodes.
We thought we were going to just do one episode, but we have much more to say about this than we realized.
Well, that's good, though.
Yeah. So, how exciting. You actually get more future episodes
With
hearing
Lord
about
of the Rings.
hobbits whacking in places.
Walking in the woods.
There's so many more places to whack in Middle-earth. Because that's what we're here for. I knew that's what you wanted to listen to.
Right? Yeah. But what you do want to listen to is we have a little insert from Theo.
We do.
Which we have to say congratulations. He just had a little bouncing baby.
Yes.
To add to his singer-songwriter collection.
So this is awesome. We have to definitely add this to it.
So congrats on your little dude entering the world.
Yeah.
And enjoy this little thing that he sent us.
Got the brown eyes, camel thighs on her wedding ring. Hey, saw you looking from across the way, and suddenly I'm glad I came. She got the white dress when she's wearing less. You know she drives me crazy. The brown eyes, beautiful smile. You know I love what you do. Your thing, I love her. It's 'cause you say the words. See my mommy, I kiss her. Sun is like a dream. Draw me in this bed that I'm in. Push up on me and sweat, darling, 'cause I'm gonna put the time in. I won't stop until the angels sing. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me. Jump in that water, be free. Come south of the border with me.
Thank you so much, dude, for sending us that. That was awesome.
Very much so.
And I guess what we have to say is this became a parter.
Yeah, look at that. Surprise! It's part one.
Right? Part 1 of 3, I'm going to assume.
Let's hope.
Well, we need to now.
But you never know. Now it has to be. Even if the next one is 15 minutes, it's going to be part 2 and that's it. The idea of us talking for 15 minutes.
We gotta recap. You know, it was fun to recap it the way we did because it helped spur memories and things that we thought about throughout the movie. So if you
apparently we need to drink more beer and
there we go.
Yeah.
So stay rad, dudes.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!